everybody, so welcome back again. So yesterday my computer just turned off, so we couldn't finish the video up as we would like, but regardless, let's continue from where we left off. Okay, so I will go in presents mode again. So now, if you can remember, yesterday we did talk about what we need to know when it comes to Kubernetes, and then also what we need to know when it comes to Node. And then today, what we are going to do, we are just going to play a little bit around with Kubernetes so that you get familiar with some Kubernetes command. Okay, so now let's play with some Kubernetes commands. So that's the next thing that we need to do. So basically, let's just move away from our presentation and then go to our browser again. Again, remember, when you go to visit Killer Coder, create an account or login. If you have an account already, go to the playground. So once you select the playground, then we can select Kubernetes 1.35. That is the Kubernetes version that we are going to use. Okay, that's the latest version of Kubernetes. I stand to be corrected, but I think that is it. So sorry about that. So now we are in the terminal again. And again, don't panic when you see the terminal, okay? Because when you panic when you see the terminal, this is what you are going to use in a real production scenario, okay? I know that maybe you might still be eager to see some UI, but I'm sorry, but if you come to pure DevOps, it's always easier to manage your resources through the terminal and you become fast. And again, you need to be good at Linux, so you have to learn Linux basics, okay? So I hope you understand Linux basics, but otherwise just follow along, play along, and then some of it will make sense for you, okay? So now, let's say if this was a normal Linux computer. Sorry, I have throat problems, so let me drink some tea. So let's say when we are on a normal Linux terminal, and then we want to list everything in our computer, we will do something like this, right? We will do ls-a, which will list everything in our computer for us. Okay, nice. So now I'll clear the screen and I'll say ls. Then we have the file here. Good. So let's do the same for Kubernetes. So with Kubernetes, to communicate with Kubernetes resources, we will also say get nodes. Now it lists all the nodes for us. So someday when you sit your exams and it says get all the nodes, so it's something like get nodes -a, capital A, okay, not small a, okay. See, you want to say why not small a? Let's try and see. Get nodes. It's all about playing around, and then you can see for yourself. Okay, get nodes and then say small a. Now you see it is not in use. It's an unknown shorthand. You get it now? If you don't get it, you get it now. So now let's move on. Let's try and see. So Node is a computer with Kubernetes on it. Simple. No overcomplication. Node is a computer with Kubernetes on it. That's it. Let's go with pods. Get pods. So no resources. So if you say get pods, so it's no resources in default namespace. Don't worry about namespace. You go a step further. When you get the basics, like I said the other day, when you get the basics, the rest comes much more easier. Okay, so get nodes, nothing there. Get nodes that get ports. Okay, it's ports. Get ports -a. Then now it can list all the ports for us. Now let's say you want to find more about nodes. So get nodes is the same you do for ports. Okay, so get the control plane and then describe node and then the node name, control plane. Okay, describe node and then the node name, control plane. Then we have all the description here. Again, if you don't understand all this, don't panic. I'm going to show you the basics, and then when you start to build with this, you will understand all this information out there. Okay, so yes, that's it And then we can also do one for, so okay, get ports dash a, and then we will say, okay, we have something here called local storage path, so let's describe it. Okay, describe port, and then it is in a special namespace. This is the port, so this is the port name. You need that name. Okay, I copied the namespace, so the port name and then dash n for namespace. Okay, I will teach you a little bit about namespace later. So dash n namespace, and then we can get that port. Okay, nice one. So now again, we have get some basics. You just have to run these commands and then get comfortable practicing Kubernetes command on your computer. Okay, but again, I know you want it on your computer, but you need to crawl before you run. You need to crawl before you run. If you already know how to crawl, why not go ahead and do it on your computer? We are all on the same page. But if you are not, remember, use this site, Killer Coder. It's very good to practice this environment without needing to stress in building your own setup. Okay, so what do we have next in our presentation? Let's see what we have next in our presentation. So the next thing we have to also talk about is with port. So what is a port? Now we go a step further. Now whenever you hear a port, just think of it as an application. Forget container, forget packaging, forget all those things before. When you hear a port is an application. That is all. So now if you are coming from a developer background or something like this, now you know that whenever you build your software or whenever you build your application, you need a way to package it, right? Or you need a way to put it in a container so that it works on my computer and it also works on your computer. So it stays consistent. The packages stay consistent across multiple environments. Okay, so if you do it this way, you are able to also deploy it onto Kubernetes across multiple environments. So a pod is an application. Where does an application live? Now we go a step further. Now application lives in a Docker container. An application, you can host it on a virtual machine. It becomes an application. You can host it on your computer. It becomes an application. But again, the preferred way now to deploy application is through containers. Why containers? You can scale containers at scale, and also you are not tied to the whole computer hardware. Okay, you are only using a portion of that container resource. So all those, when we need to get in deep, you start to get confused. Get the top overview, and then going forward, if you want to understand it a bit more, we can take it a bit more further and try to understand what goes on down below. Okay, so now when you hear a pod is an application. Application lives in a Docker container. Okay, application lives in a Docker container. So if you don't know anything about Docker, remember I have some videos about Docker. You can learn about Docker. Okay, so when you build your application, so let's say you build a full stack application, front end, back end. Now you ensure that the backend is packaged into a Docker container so that you can deploy the Docker image. Okay, the front end is also packaged into a Docker container so that you can deploy into a Docker image. Now, what is deploy into a Docker image? Deploy into a Docker image is just, when you build the image and then you package your application, you run build, and then whenever you build the application, you need a place to store that artifact. Whenever you build a code or application, it becomes artifacts. Okay, so whenever you hear artifact, just think of it as application that is being built that we can use that we can just deploy. Okay, so when you hear artifact, don't panic. It is just application that we build and then we can just deploy it. So when we've built our application and then we will package it and then we will deploy into a Docker container. Now that Docker container needs a place to live. It can live on Docker Hub or it can live on Amazon ECR. So ECR meaning Elastic Container Registry. Okay, when you are setting your AWS exams also, when you hear ECR, Elastic Container Resource. Okay, so again, when you package your application and deploy it, then now Kubernetes can use it. So there are a lot of application that has been built already by the community that we can use, such as Nginx pod, Redis pod. So it is not necessary to build a Redis pod from scratch when you just need to when you just need a caching layer for your application. You don't need to build Redis. You can just call the Redis image and then deploy it. Okay, so let's see what it is. Let's go to the terminal. Let's go to the terminal again. So let's say we want to deploy a pod. Let's say we want to deploy a pod. There's a difference between deployment and a pod. Okay, we want to just deploy a pod. A pod is just a single instance of an application. A pod, not pods. A pod. Okay, so a pod is just a single instance. So run. So to deploy a pod through the terminal, you use run and then Nginx. Let's say Nginx. Run Nginx and the name first, Nginx pod, and then image is going to be dash. So we are calling that image Nginx. Simple. Now we've created a pod. Okay, now you want to understand where do I get this from. So now we run get pods. Now we can see we have the engine pod here. Okay, it's creating. Nice one. It should soon be container creating. So but before that, forget what is happening now. Let us go for it. So run, and then I put some name and then dash image. So what is that? You don't understand. Yeah, I understand. You don't understand. I understand you don't understand. So I'll help you understand. Okay. So in order to help you understand, we need to run run. Now when you say run -h, because you don't know what to do, Kubernetes, please help me. So you say, when you add -h or -help, say, please help me. Kubernetes, please help me. Now it will help you. Okay, so now you will see we have kubectl run. So that's the K, and then name, and then image, and then environment variable, anything. Also, all these ones are not mandatory. Everything here is mandatory. The rest are add-ons. Okay, so we can have environment variable, we can have pod, we can have dry run, dry run. Okay, and then we can use it. Now, if you want to go the old-fashioned way, go to Kubernetes documentation, search for pod. So you will learn a little bit about pod here. So when you see a pod, we are going to see that this is how we define a pod. So if you create your YAML file, so you create a YAML file, and then if you create a YAML file and then you put this in, then you get a pod. So what does it mean? The API version is the Kubernetes version for the pod, and then the kind you say you need a pod, and then the metadata. This is where you define attributes to your pod. Okay, so the name, whichever name you want, labels, anything that you want, you can put it there. Now you have the spec. So the spec aspect, this is where we have to define the specification for the application. So we need containers. So the containers that we are going to use is Nginx, and then the image is going to be this Nginx version, and then the port is going to be just this one. So that's all. When you say port, that's all you need. So Vim, let's create one. Vim pod.yaml, then paste the one that we just got here. So This pod, I want it to be called code janitor. Code janitor. So that's it. I'll save it, and then I will run that pod. So to run a file, apply -f. You see -f, and then the pod file. Now you've created that one too. So get pods, and then we should be able to see it here as well. So you see the engine pod is ready. The code janitor pod is also being created. So again, basically that is all you need to know about a pod. So we will leave this video here. Try to practice this one so that you get the understanding. If you need more understanding, try to spend a lot of time on the documentation. Try to go down. Okay, so if this is your first time, because for me, I've been doing it many times, I can just close my eye and do it. Okay, remember, if you don't use ChatGPT yet, okay, we use it. Don't use it yet. Learn from the documentation here, get the understanding here. So when you get to work with ChatGPT, you become faster. But then if you go and if you do the inverse, if you go and work with ChatGPT first, if you're a beginner, you go and work with ChatGPT first, and then now you want to come and understand that thing, then you need to relearn. You need to relearn, because otherwise life has become easier for you, and then you become lazy to learn. So it is difficult. I don't know who can do that, but me, actually, I can't do that, so I don't do it. If I want to get some concept going, I need to try and understand from documentation, and then I will learn fast by using ChatGPT, and then I will scale. Normally, I use ChatGPT to build faster. I use Codex to build faster, so I don't know what you use. Maybe you use Claude. It's the same. Use it, because now we are in a world that is scaling faster or running very fast. So if you don't also run fast, everybody will run, and then you'll be left behind. Me, I don't want to be left behind. I want to stay in the race. Okay, so you to stay in the race. Let us all stay in the race together. So please remember to learn the pod from the documentation. Try to understand it, and then in the next video we are going to deal a little bit much more about deployment. Don't forget to give the video a thumbs up. I know you don't want to do it. I know you just want to watch and go, but if you do it, you help me, I help you, my friend. So I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.